A character selection menu appears through the power of non-linear storytelling. You know the drill by now. Have some free will. Or just go in this order if you think agency is overrated. The fact that you are a dedicated and loyal reader is obvious and indisputable, so of course you won't be moving on ahead without having taken a gander at all the options presented to you.
Hey.
Oh, hey!
Hey to you again, except slightly more quietly.
Oh, sorry. Why are we whispering?
I'm not entirely sure. That just seems to be what everyone has lapsed into doing. And now speaking in a normal volume will draw more attention than desired, especially when attempting to have a private conversation.
I'm loving this private convo already, but you might need to make it snappy. John looks about ready to get down and dirty with some serious leadership biz.
Alright then, I will attempt to be brief. I want to thank you again, for the MrDoctorb certainly, but additionally for everything else you have accomplished today. I know being the one to strike the final blow against our shared enemy in the midst of battle does not necessarily warrant gratitude, but I thought it might be nice for you to hear that what you did was appreciated. At least by me, on behalf of my species, as well as all those who suffered at the behest of the Condis. And all those that may now be born and live free of tyranny. You did good.
Oh my god, I am crying. That wasn't brief at all, but 'twas so beautiful. God damn it, come here, Mom's big lovable space girlfriend.
I would prefer it if we saved the hug for later maybe.
Aw, okay, that's cool.
Anyway, I've only just met you, but you have already proven yourself to be just as extraordinary an individual as your... Rose.
As my Rose?
Yes, your Rose.
Wonk. Okay, looks like John got distracted by something. So, since we got a little more time to chat it up, and so long as we're exchanging bomb-as-fuck felicitations, you're not so shabby yourself, you know? Like, damn, I was absolutely right. You're one deadly customer. Seeing you whip out that beastly chainsaw was a sight to behold.
I really did not do all that much, surprisingly. Or perhaps unsurprisingly. I am not sure if I was erring on the side of caution after all, out of consideration for the gift you gave me, or if perhaps I was simply unpracticed.
Who cares? We won. Gave that witch what was coming to her. And that's the end of that. No point in getting our knickers all in a twist over it no more.
Yes, I suppose you're right, though I do wonder how things might have gone if I had attempted to dust off one of the old frame motifs. Not that I ever got much use out of them before.
No kidding. Yeah, that would have been pretty badass. We could have had a sick combo. Void and,
Space.
Right, yeah, space.
It may have indeed been sick, but upon further reflection, perhaps not.
Wait, really? How come?
I don't feel like I ever got the opportunity to truly get in touch with my aspect like you. It has never seemed pertinent that I be able to cast some sort of spacey enchantment. In fact, I have yet to stumble across a scenario I could not handle through more traditional methods.
You mean a deadly body slam full of sharp metal teeth twice the length of your head?
Yes, precisely. That tends to cover the bases pretty well.
Well, you know what? That's cool. You do you. Besides, hopefully there won't be any more reason for you to wreck shit.
That would be ideal, I suppose. However, it is always wise to be prepared, just in case.
Of course! And hey, just because we won the game doesn't mean there won't be, more opportunities to, explore yourself and your aspect. Our cool powers are too freaking handy for them to just stop being relevant once we walk through a magic door. Maybe someday, you'll get the chance to blitz your chakras and get spacey with it. And it'll be at your own pace instead of having to rush it for the sake of fixing some giant space catastrophe.
That does sound nice, considering right now I am very unsure of how to even begin blitzing those particular chakras.
I bet you can ask John. He's really good at giving advice for stuff like that. Though, he probably doesn't even know it.
You are also very good at giving advice. That was not necessarily a request, I simply thought I should point that out.
Too bad, you're getting some anyway. Wonk. Really though, I've hardly even begun to wrestle my voidy powers into submission. Still got a long way to go on that front. But thus far, most of my blitzing has just been like being around the thing and letting myself embrace this like natural syringy thing I got going with it.
When you say the thing, do you mean nothing? Considering your aspect presides over literal nothingness.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but...
Okay, I was just attempting to clarify. How does one surround themselves with the concept of non-existence?
I don't know. When you put it that way, it does sound pretty mind-bending. I guess I've just been lucky? Or maybe the nothing is naturally attracted to me and luck's got nothing to do with it? But yeah, I got that voidy ring at one point, and when John started getting to fixing the timeline, he took me to a place that felt like the nothingest nothing to ever unexist.
That sounds interesting. What was it like?
Well, it was white, but not pure white. Just slightly off, and it was super vast. But not like regular outer space where you can actually see stuff like stars stretch on and on till you can't see it anymore. Which at least gives you a sense of distance. But instead it was almost claustrophobic, because there was nothing there. You and all the other somethings just completely enveloped by a shrink wrap of absence. I never really tried putting this into words. I think the thing about it was that the void sort of changed, depending on how I chose to perceive it. Because the whole point is that it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe a little binary?
Binary?
You know, binary. Computer language. 00111 011 001 01001.
Oh, that.
The way that works is basically you have a bit, like a computery bit, and it can say either 0 or 1, and depending on which it is, the computer displays info differently. But the void is like a completely blank bit. There isn't a 0 or a 1 written on the bit yet, but that's all we're programmed to understand, you know? Like 0 is technically nothing, but what's important is that there's something there for you to see. But what I'm getting at is that really, void is just blank space waiting to be written on. By somebody like yours truly. I am the computer, and you're the person reading the display. And my whole voidy thing is that I gotta figure out the code for whatever I want to make exist, and write it on the blank bits. Then I snatch them out of the void. Yoink!
Wow, that was really quite insightful, Roxy. I think I am already beginning to understand things better. But what is this?
Be sure it's lipstick, and it's for you. I don't really know if pink's your color, but here it is anyway.
Another gift? Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's actually kind of cool I was able to make this at all. I bet it must be because of you somehow. You like lipstick, right?
Yes.
I don't know if this is just me, but I bet this is totes a thing with space players. Like, I get the vibe that you guys are more in touch with the objects around you, especially those that are important to you.
I suppose.
Well, are you gonna take it, or what?
I really can't accept this. I was attempting to alleviate the debt of gratitude I have already been accumulating towards you. A measly thank you is hardly enough, and yet you present me with even more to be thankful for.
Man, that's not how this works. You don't owe me nothing. But heck, if it makes you feel better, the space egg wasn't really for you, it was for all the little trollings that need to be born. Skewer and the batter witch is definitely for me, and Earth and stuff. And the lipstick is thank you for taking such good care of my mom.
That does make me feel slightly better.
So you'll take it?
Okay.
Hella!
Thank you. Again.
Don't mention it.
So, that was some fight, huh?
Oh yes, that sure was a doozy of a brawl we all just participated in. Or rather, multiple brawls.
I think you're probably up to speed on exactly how well mine went.
Should I be?
Never mind.
Sorry. It's just difficult to,
Don't be sorry. It doesn't actually matter.
The important part is you won, right?
Yeah. How did yours go? If you feel like sharing, that is.
Oh, I won too.
Well, obviously, I meant like, specifically how you won. I'd be down to hear some details of all that kick-assery you've been dishing out. That must have been pretty crazy solo.
Oh. Well, I wasn't alone for long, actually. In fact, there was quite the clusterflip of skeleton sprites and green goblin brutes. That crabby troll fellow even showed up at one point. They seemed to be having a difficult time with one of the tinier rascals, but I was up to my ears in flockers and fisticuffs myself and couldn't really lend him a hand.
It looks like he's alright, so no harm done. How many of those green dudes were there again?
I'm fairly certain there were 14.
And you trounced all of them?
Actually, Karat dealt with one of them, I think. They were small, but a decidedly tricky foe. It was scurrying around so fast I didn't think even a single one of my bullets even grazed it.
Oh shit, sounds tough. Still, my score reads Jake 13, Goblin 0. Oh, and I'm pretty sure the name you're looking for is Carcat.
Is that so?
Yup.
My mistake then.
Don't worry about it.
Have you spoken to him at all yet?
Nah.
Would you like to?
I guess. Sure. He and Dave seem to be in the middle of something, though. No point in interrupting. Besides, I'm talking to you right now. Son of a fuck. That was you trying to get me to leave you again, wasn't it?
Well...
It's fine. I get it. Finally. You don't want anything to do with me, or this awkward dance we've been doing around each other. And I've been convinced I'd actually try to give you some space so you wouldn't have to deal with my overbearing bullshit anymore. Yet here I am. Honestly, I'm not even sure why. I just had this impulse to try and smooth things over with you by offering some sort of half-assed congratulations. Sorry for making you uncomfortable for a solid 10 minutes by stringing that conversation along. I'll go bother someone else.
Dirk, wait!
What? You don't need to humor me, or worry about hurting my feelings, or whatever. You're not obligated to care about any of that anymore. That ship has sailed.
That's not... Oh, feathers! This is exactly the problem.
Is?
I'm so lousy at saying what I mean, and then you put all these words in my mouth, and I have no idea how to make you understand. Maybe because I hardly understand myself. This is all so difficult to pass. I'm utterly flippin' bamboozled by everything that's happened today. I've tried to politely get everything to hold its darn horses for perhaps 10 frigging minutes, but no. Those stallions shot right out of the gate with a forceful gusto, and I've been trying to keep from being trampled underneath their thundering hooves this entire time. There are so many people here. And while I'm sure they're all perfectly upstanding folk, I have no clue how I'm supposed to talk to any of them. Especially when I can't even bring myself to engage with those I actually know. Because I'm certain there's a plethora of things I need to apologize for, but I'm still puzzling out what exactly they are.
Jake.
Honestly, I've been resigning myself to the possibility of never speaking to anyone ever again. Considering I'm such a dunce, there's no way I'll ever be able to figure out how to make things right with you or Jane. And if I badger Roxy, I'll no doubt botch things up with her too somehow. So what's the point? I'm never going to be a good friend, let alone a good anything more than that. So I've already accepted that I'm really just a waste of space and I ought to spend the rest of my life keeping out of everyone's way.
Holy shit, Jake. What?
It's just the simplest solution for everyone involved. I'm fine with it. I was perfectly willing to mind my own beeswax and allow the rest of you to mind yours and make myself scarce while the opportunity arose. But then you ambled up to see me and you put that plan on ice.
Jake.
Which has had me reeling for the past little while, let me tell you. I don't know what to do because I'm getting the vibe that perhaps you still want to be friends, though I can't even begin to guess why. And I'm so conflicted because there's a part of me that does want to give the whole friendship thing another go, even though I know it's bound to end in disaster.
Jake.
But if I'm really going to commit to that mad gamble, it feels like this might be my only real chance to try and patch things up between us. Except that I'm so blasted tired. Even thinking about fumbling through that conversation with all of these people makes me want to curl up into a ball and embarrass myself. Though attempting to salvage my pride at this point seems a fool's errand. Nobody can possibly take me seriously while I'm not wearing any flippin' pants.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dirk. I just can't right now. I can't. It's too much. I know it's so typical of me to chicken out and disappoint you.
Dude.
Sakes alive, I can't believe I just went on and on like that. What am I doing?
Okay, Jake, I hear you. You can stop now. The fact that you've managed to whisper all that is pretty impressive. But let's take it down a notch. Like, to breathe. Are you okay? Maybe we could sit down or something?
No, everyone else is standing.
I don't really care, and nobody else should either. Your legs look like they're about to give out.
I'm really fine. Can we please not talk about my legs?
Shit. Sorry. Sure thing.
But maybe sitting isn't such a terrible idea.
Feeling any better?
A smidgen. Are people looking at us?
Not sure, probably not. But even so, you aren't the only one who could use a breather.
Okay.
So, sorry for putting words in your mouth. Looks like you already had plenty of your own in there. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm actually kinda glad you told me. I'm gonna be real with you here and say I'm more than a little concerned about some of what you just said. But I get you're not in a position to talk about it right now. I know, there are probably better people to hash that shit out with than me. You don't have to say anything else, especially about, well, us, I guess. I don't know about a lot of the other stuff, but I'm perfectly willing to save opening up that particular can of worms for later. I'm probably not ready for that conversation either, so it's most likely for the best. Being perfectly frank, I'm also not exactly enthusiastic about this crowd. I'm not really used to having this volume of people around. And I guess we're both kind of at loss when it comes to approaching them all. I demonstrated my lacking conversational chops earlier, I think. I knew it was a bad idea, but I came over here anyway. Mostly because I think I just really wanted to talk to you. I guess old habits die hard. Or in this case, ridiculously young ones. Right, getting to the point. Whatever you may be thinking about yourself, I can pretty much guarantee you I don't agree. But I'm going to put that aside for now and just say that yeah, I really do still want to be friends. If there's some part of you that's willing to give it a shot, I want you to promise me something.
Okay. What is it?
That you'll put all that bullshit about cutting ties with everyone aside, at least for long enough to talk about this stuff properly later. Doesn't even need to be with me, but just somebody. I mean, don't you want to talk to your grandma, dude? You've been pen pals for ages. Now she's right there.
That, yes, actually, that does sound nice.
Good. Maybe we ought to wrap this up then. Or am I wrong in thinking you still want some space?
So long as we're all on this platform, I doubt I'll be getting very far with that either way.
True.
What I could really use is a nap.
I feel that, but it might have to wait a bit longer. Think you can manage until then?
Probably.
And just to make things crystal clear, until we get our shit together enough to actually talk about, well, you know what? Are we cool?
I think so.
Thank fuck. Come on, let's go claim our reward.
Hey, Rose.
Oh, hello, Jade. I see you've finally woken from your nap.
Yeah, thank goodness. Now I can finally give you a proper nice to see you hug.
Well, it would be remiss of me to refute. Oof!
Nice to see you, Rose.
Nice to see you too, Jade.
Bark. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I just did that. That's so embarrassing.
No harm done. It's endearing, in a way. Though perhaps the charm might simply be a patented Jade Harley trait.
Aw.
But you might want to keep your voice down. I'm not sure why it's become so quiet, but I am perfectly willing to preserve this lull in activity, especially in order to sustain the pleasant conversation we are currently having.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Okay.
Now that our vocal cords have been successfully wrangled, we can get right into the thick of it. It seemed like you had something to ask me when you approached.
Oh, yes, I did. But I'm kind of unsure how to ask.
In moments like these, I think the best advice I can give is to say fuck it and do it anyway.
Well, geez, when you put it that way.
Well?
Oh, right, yeah. So, I was wondering what you thought we should do about the Earth. John said taking care of it is supposed to be my responsibility, and looking at it right now, isn't it a bit more, watery than it should be?
It certainly looks that way. It's just another unfortunate consequence of the scratch. Though I think it might be a slight improvement over the barren ball of basalt our Earth became after that cataclysmic meteor shower. We'll just have to make do.
So that's it then? We just give Earth an orbit around a new star or something and find an island to live on?
That does seem a suitable course of action. We might want to do something about all that ocean, though. At the very least, to make the planet somewhat more aesthetically pleasing. Sprinkle a few continents here and there, you know. No offense, but one measly island will doubtless get boring after a while. Let alone be capable of housing what will hopefully one day be a thriving multi-species civilization.
Well, I guess you're right about that. Although, I kind of wonder about all our planets here in the medium.
What about them?
I went through all that trouble to bring them here, and now we're just gonna leave them behind? Why don't we bring them along? Personally, I'm a little attached.
Personally, I would rather not.
Oh. Well, why?
They are essentially just an overly grandiose and complicated puzzle designed for preteens, presented as personalized celestial bodies. Some of them even have giant snakes inside them. Ew.
Wow, Rose. I sure did miss you a whole lot. You always have such a smart and funny way of putting things. But will the denizens really still be there if we take them with us?
It was a joke, Jade. One of the many that I dole out on a regular basis, as the shrewd yet whimsical person you say I am. They'll likely vanish once we exit the game for good, whether we bring them through to the new universe or not. They are game constructs, and I can't see them serving much purpose past the end credits, so to speak.
Oh. Well, that makes me wonder. What about the sprites? They're game constructs too, right?
That is a decent point. The kernels, at the very least, are absolutely nothing more than game constructs. They are a core mechanic of the game in their relationship with the maturity of the battlefield and the power of the black and white monarchs, and they don't even have consciousness. The sprites, however, well, I'm not sure. It's highly likely they'll be able to continue existing indefinitely, all things considered. Though, ultimately, it's up to them whether they'd like to take a stab at life beyond suburb. Hopefully, at least one of them will remain here. Far, far away, never to be seen again, or be mourned, at all. Ever. Never mind that.
Okay, well, I'm still kind of unsure about all this.
We'll figure it out, Jade. There's really not much to worry over.
Well, what about, repopulation?
Like I said, we'll figure it out. Some ectobiology will likely be involved, which we will all be able to discuss as a group when the time comes, rather than right this second.
Rose, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad.
I'm not mad.
Well, you seem a little mad. I just really want to make sure I do my job right. Supposed to make sure we all have a proper place to live.
You'll do just fine, Jade. You've always done your best at every task you've tackled, and what small miracles you can accomplish with hardly any effort are a reflection of how truly capable you are. We all have faith in you.
Thanks, but is everything okay? You don't sound all that enthusiastic. Did I do something wrong?
No. This is all me. I missed you, Jade. I really did. But seeing you again now brings back unpleasant memories.
Oh, you mean like your mom?
Less the incident itself, and more the horrifically immature child I behaved like back then. Never was my childish more apparent than with how I treated you.
What? What do you mean?
I was never a very good friend to you, Jade. There were, and perhaps still are, some things about you that made me feel insecure. And, well, I was very petty, and allowed myself to wallow in jealousy while shoehorning you into another one of many imagined rivalries.
You were jealous? Of me?
You were bubbly and cheerful, genuinely likable, unlike me. legitimately smart, where I more often than not felt the need to pad my intellect with random facts I learned on the internet. You had a multitude of talents and seemed to be able to do almost anything with hardly any effort. Not to mention, I was under the impression you could see the future.
Oh yeah, I thought I was so smart. Just thinking about all those dumb, vague hints I used to drop makes me cringe. I totally get it, Rose. I'm really sorry.
Please, don't be. Without the haze of envy blotting my vision, I can see you for the charming, likable, caring girl you really are and always have been. I like to think that I've done at least some maturing over the last 3 years. Now I'm the smug one with clairvoyance. My, how the tables have turned.
Well, you were always a little bit smug.
Oh, only a little? You flatterer.
What does that say about me? Oh, certainly. You have no idea how relieved I am that despite my horrific deeds, I still have people that matter most to me in my life. Including my dad! I've missed him so much, I'm almost afraid to ask if he knows about what I did. And if not, would I ever be able to tell him? He'd be so ashamed of me.
Jane, I'm not very familiar with the concepts of fathers and families. These are very human things which, despite my preoccupations, are still unique foreign. But I think I may be learning slowly by seeing how all of you are immediately drawn to each other. And from what I have learned, I don't think you need to worry, Jane. We are all just glad that you're here. I'm certain of it.
Thank you, Callie. The same goes for you, you know.
Oh, yes. I'm really quite happy to be here, not dead. I just wish that I could have been a little bit more useful. Perhaps if I had managed to contribute at least a little more, I would not feel quite so out of place.
It's alright to feel a tad ill at ease. Nobody expects you to be immediately hunky-dory with all of this buddy-chummy hullabaloo. In fact, I'm certain not even all us humans are on the same page. So your discomforts, in a way, is a very good indication that you fit right in.
Thank you, Jane. That sentiment really means a lot, but I must admit that it is a little odd to think of myself in such a way. I have always been an outsider looking in, never truly part of anything larger than myself. Thinking about parents and siblings, well, my only experience with anything of the sort was my brother.
Oh yeah, that jerk. Do you really need to think about him anymore, Callie? I know I will be perfectly happy to never deal with him and his sordid affairs ever again.
It's not particularly happy thing to ponder, no, but nonetheless, it's what I have. And despite how awful it may have been, I think it warrants reflection. There's something about our shared experience growing up that makes me feel connected to him still. I wonder if maybe that connection is that all what family is like.
I don't really know, Calliope. I'm hardly an expert on the subject, but from what I understand, family is really quite a multifaceted thing. And the sort of connection you're describing could certainly be part of it, I think. Some might say you cannot choose your family and that they are an important part of who you are, and no matter what, for better or for worse.
That may be true. However, I do feel like whatever relationship we had was not truly any sort of familial bond. At least not anything I've seen thus far in humans. We called each other siblings out of convenience, but in reality, we were competitors in a game larger even than Spawn's universe. Technically, I was a loser in the race to dominate and participate in our session, but in that yet larger game, which I think one might call the game of life, seems like I might be the winner. I think, maybe, given that I'm beginning to understand what my alternate self meant when she told me to live. Because we both know my brother well, and it seems there is no version of him that I will ever be able to finish his childish games. will stay the way he is forever, never able to move and just live, never knowing that such a path, which he views with such disdain, is likely far more rewarding.
Callie, that's it!
Huh?
That's why it's called the ultimate reward. We don't have to play this Scrabble game anymore. This is our ticket to move on to much bigger adventures awaiting us. Letting go of the past and learning from it. Puzzling out what it means to have a family. All of that, living life to its fullest. That's the ultimate reward.
I think you're right, Jane. We stumbled upon the realization quite accidentally, didn't we?
Actually, Callie, I think it might be because you are just that clever and insightful.
Oh, shucks.
You are definitely a winner in my book. I'm glad you might be a winner in yours too.
I am certainly getting there. Maybe someday soon I will be able to more fully come to terms with all this. But there's no rush, right? So long as we're looking forward instead of back.
That's the ticket. Cheers to winning!
To winning!
Dude, relax. I can practically hear you thinking yourself into another shit fit. John looks about ready to twist the shit out of that magic doorknob. I thought you'd be relieved or something.
I can't help it. I'm nervous, okay? Last time I was in this position, it didn't turn out so well. And I can't help but feel like we're forgetting something important. Maybe several somethings. Like, where the fuck is Gamzee? Friska just shoved him in that hunger trunk when she realized we were about to show up, and then kept him there so he wouldn't cause trouble. But I guess he just went on an interplanetary adventure. Where could he be? Has he broken out yet? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, that is, actually kind of concerning.
You think? And what about the mayor? And the sprites? Where did they fuck off to?
Look, man, well, figure it out, alright? We're not just gonna up and leave without everyone accounted for. Like, seriously, how could we ever abandon the mayor? We're going back for him, that's not even up for debate.
Thank God, at least someone around here has their priorities straight. But still, that's not our only problem.
Order now and you'll get another mental breakdown absolutely free. 2 disasters for the low, low price of 1. What a steal.
Don't give me your sass. I didn't get these tobaccos from the dollar store, you know. This is some legitimately troubling shit, okay?
I'm not even going to continue that metaphor. I'm putting on my serious face. You've got Waldo the Juaglo on your mind, what else?
Well, I'm worried about Friska, I guess.
Vriska?
I know, call me crazy, but my aggravation sponge has been tingling with good reason for Vriska fucking Circuit.
Okay, so what's the problem then?
Should we wait for her to get back before we claim the reward? Will she even be coming back?
Why wouldn't she?
Look, I don't know about everybody else, but the Byzantine charades she's always flaunting, I know she has to feel like the most competent person in the room at all times, but it's all kinds of paper thin from my perspective. I spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to chase that same fantasy, and I can tell she's still dangerously caught up in it. It just so happens she is way better at crafting shameless Machiavellian schemes than I ever was. I didn't care enough to do anything about it, though, seeing as it was working out better for her than it ever had for me. Or it was, as far as I could tell anyway. In fact, I was more than happy to drop that farce altogether and allow her to pick up the slack that she seemed so eager to do. Apparently that only became official as of a few hours ago, but whatever. The point is, nobody is even considering the possibility that Vriska might not actually know what she's doing, beyond whatever master plan she cobbled together based on what could, for all we know, be absolute bullshit. What is she actually going to do?
I don't know. What she usually does?
Believe it or not, before throwing myself into the fray earlier, I managed to sneak in a short nap.
Really?
Yes, really. Don't ask about it. But I got to see with my own gander bulbs how fairly fuck deep she's buried herself into the furthest ring smorgasbord of reality-shattering fuckery. She acts like it's just an evening stroll through the void, but lo and behold, When you least expect it, she'll be back hauling in her fired irons like weekly groceries. But hey, it's no big deal. Nothing we need to know about. No worries. But you know what? Maybe some worries.
I guess you have a point, but I don't really see what we can do about it. Unless you want to put things on hold and look for her?
No, fuck that. I'm done. I just want this to be over with. Whatever she's gotten herself into, she'll just have to get herself out of it. It's not like I'd even be much help. In fact, the idea that I could ever conceivably be of any use to her is so laughable, I might just piss myself. I mean, where's this even coming from? Why am I worried about Vriska of all people? If she could hear my thoughts right now, no doubt she would be giving me an unending supply of shit for ever doubting her. Hell, she probably already has. I can already smell the shit rocketing its way through space-time, ready to bury me in sass.
I don't know, man. Like, sure, any plan to bail out Vriska is about as well-founded as the Dark Carnival, which is not at all. Because it's pretty much the fakest thing to never ever be real ever.
I'm not really in the mood to joke about that right now. Yeah, let's just put everything on hold for a second, so we can have a good chuckle about how fake mirthful messiahs are. Hardy, har, har. We now return to our regularly scheduled brooding.
You really are far gone. Look, sure she makes it kind of impossible to care about her, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's perfectly fine, just off doing her own thing. But the fact that you care anyways is kind of cool in my opinion.
What?
You actually give a shit about people, even people that probably don't deserve it. Not gonna lie, Vriska is kind of a huge bitch and you would probably be happier if you wrote her off. Maybe that's the case for some other people too, but I'm not gonna name names.
Jade.
Okay, fine. I'm just trying to say that, from experience, putting aside bitchiness or what anyone might deserve, having people around that actually care about you makes a big difference. And the idea that not caring about anything or anyone is somehow the most ideal way to be is garbage. So instead of beating yourself up about caring too much, do yourself a favor and just focus on what's bothering you.
Okay, sure.
I get that you think Vriska might fuck up and get herself killed somehow, but I also get the feeling that there's more to it than that.
Yeah, there is. We have no way of knowing if she does fuck up. And damn it, Terezi's probably going to go tie herself into a fucking pretzel about it too. Which I'm sure she really doesn't need right now. And now I'm all twisted up, wondering if whatever Vriska's doing out there can still fuck us over somehow.
Well, I can't help you with Terezi. She's just going to have to work on that. But as far as the blue-winged butterfly effect goes, I'm the timeline guy, right?
I guess?
You guessed correctly. And right now, nothing feels off to me. There's been enough outside intervention to convince me that this is the way shit is supposed to go. If somebody from an alternate reality bothers to travel back and give the timeline a thorough Heimlich maneuver like I'm assuming John and Roxy did, which causes all the potential roadblocks to fling themselves out of our way and allow the right events to start slotting into place, that's generally a good sign that everything that can go wrong already has. So it's pretty much smooth sailing from here. Hopefully.
Did you really need to tack that on the end there?
Just covering my bases.
You know, if that was your idea of a pep talk, I think I might as well fling myself off this miserable victory platter and perform a supersonic honkbird dive into Skya. Hopefully, I can drown in celestial ooze and lay myself to rest against the bosom of a literal fucking universe. That would almost definitely be more comforting than hopefully everything will be fine, I think.
Jesus. Alright, you got me. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. This whole alpha timeline thing is really something you just gotta play by ear, and I can't predict what's going to happen. But it just sucks to see you all stressed out. I was kinda hoping we could put all of that crap behind us. At least for a little while. Those are really decent things to be worrying about, but the crux of the matter is there's just nothing we can actually do. At least, not that I can figure out. That's more of Rose's thing, and she seems to think everything's fine. And even if something does happen, you'll probably be in better shape to deal with it if you don't get yourself so worked up.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I think I tend to let myself hyper-focus on one possibility and stress over what usually amounts to absolutely nothing. So, I need to try not do that, maybe.
Awesome. Think about Troll Dane cooks an ironically hilarious stand-up routine or something, and chill out.
I am. I'm chilling. This is me chilling. This is my chill face.
Funny. Looks a lot like the face you were making a minute ago, when you were decidedly not chilling.
How's this then?
Yeah, sure. That works.